May 3, 2007, the quiet, sun-drenched resort town of Praia da Luz in Portugal's Algarve region. For the McCann family, it was the perfect end to another day of their holiday. But as night fell, their vacation turned into a nightmare that would captivate and horrify the world for years to come. This is the story of the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. Kate and Gary McCann, both physicians from the UK, were on holiday with their 3 children, 3-year-old Madeleine and her 2-year-old twin siblings. They were part of a group of friends, all with young children, staying at the Ocean Club Resort. The evening of May 3rd seemed routine. The children were put to bed in the family's ground floor apartment, number 5A, while the adults went for dinner at a nearby tapas restaurant just over 50 metres away. From their table they had a partial view of the apartment block. The group had a system, with adults taking turns to physically check on the sleeping children every half hour. Gary McCann checked on the children around 9:05 p.m. and found them all sound asleep. Everything seemed normal. Another friend in the group offered to check around 9:30 p.m, but only looked in on his own children. It was at 10 p.m. that Kate McCann went to check. She entered the children's bedroom to find a scene that would forever haunt her. The window was open, the shutter raised, and Madeleine's bed was empty. The twins were still sleeping peacefully, but Madeleine was gone. Panic set in immediately. A frantic search of the apartment and the immediate vicinity began. But there was no sign of the little girl with the distinctive mark in her right eye. The Portuguese police, the Polícia Judiciária, were called and a massive search operation was launched. But from the beginning, the investigation was plagued with difficulties. The initial crime scene was not properly secured, potentially contaminated by the dozens of people who had entered the apartment during the frantic initial search. The local police were criticised for their slow response and for not immediately sealing off border crossings. The early hours of the investigation were crucial, and many believe vital opportunities were lost. As days turned into weeks, the story of the missing girl in the pink pyjamas exploded across the globe. Madeleine's face, captured in a now iconic photograph taken just hours before she vanished, was everywhere. Her parents, Kate and Gary, launched a powerful and unprecedented media campaign to find their daughter. They gave heart-wrenching interviews, met with world leaders, and established Madeleine's fund to finance a private investigation. The case became the most heavily reported missing person case in modern history. But this intense media glare was a double-edged sword. While it kept Madeleine's story in the public eye, it also led to rampant speculation and, eventually, turned suspicion onto the McCanns themselves. In September 2007, 4 months after Madeleine disappeared, Portuguese police named Kate and Gary McCann as official suspects or arguidos. This shocking development was reportedly based on forensic evidence found in the family's rental car, which they had hired 25 days after Madeleine went missing. However, the DNA evidence was complex and ultimately deemed inconclusive. The McCanns vehemently denied any involvement, and their suspect status was lifted in July 2008 due to a lack of evidence. The Portuguese investigation was officially archived, but the search was far from over. Over the years, countless theories have been proposed. Was it a planned abduction by a predator who had been watching the apartment? A convicted sex offender who was known to be living in the Algarve region at the time of Madeleine's disappearance. He has a history of crimes, including burglaries in the Praia da Luz area, while investigators have described him as the main suspect. He has not been charged in connection with the case and maintains his innocence. Today, more than a decade and a half later, the case of Madeleine McCann remains unsolved. She would now be a young woman. For her family, the search has never stopped. It's a tragic story of loss, of enduring hope against all odds, and of a mystery that continues to puzzle investigators and the public alike. The search for answers and the search for Madeleine goes on. Thanks for watching. Follow our channel for more deep dives into cases that have shaped our world.